Hey, hello everyone. My name is Pablo Silvera. I'm originally from Uruguay, a very small country in South America. 3 million people, 5 million cows, 7 million sheep. So we have more cows than people there. That's why we eat lots of meat. And Uruguay is famous for, again, for beef steak and for soccer players. That's all we have to offer to the world, meat and soccer players. I being a certified interpreter, Spanish court interpreter here in the state of Utah since 2008. And I do other things besides interpretation. So I would like to share a few ideas with you guys today. So let's cut to the chase. Basically, I have a background in marketing and sales. So I consider myself a very average interpreter, but I love sales and I love marketing myself and doing business and selling my business. And I think I've been done pretty well lately in trying to expand my practice here. So let me share with you a story. Of course, again, having a background in sales, I managed a couple of car dealers here in the Utah when I first moved here 12, 13 years ago. And I learned this about car salesmen. Okay, we all know that car salesmen are all pirates and very dangerous people. A car dealer, let's say that they have a vehicle for sale, a car for sale. And they buy the car and I'll use very simple numbers. They buy the car for $7,000. They do some maintenance to the vehicle. They invest $1,000 in the car. So their final cost is $8,000. They sell the car for $10,000. The difference between 8 and 10, those $2,000, it's the profit, or what they call the gross income, gross profit on the vehicle. Car salesmen, most of them are paid a commission on the gross of the vehicle. So let's say that the car sells for 10, gross is 2,000. Most car salesmen get, I would say, 20% commission on the gross. So they would make $400 commission in selling a vehicle. But they don't stop there. Car salesmen, after they sell the vehicle, after the sale is secure, they start adding other products and services. For example, they would add what's called a warranty to the vehicle that would protect, any damages to the engine, transmission, cooling system, and a couple other things. They sell that warranty to us customers, and the cost of that added warranty is $1,500. And the car salesman, they would make a 20% commission on that. So they would make, I don't know, $300 extra for selling that new product or service, the warranty. Then they would sell what's called a gap insurance. That's something to protect the client in case they end up paying $10,000 for the car. They finance $10,000 with the bank, and they have a big accident. The vehicle is totaled, and the insurance company pays only $6,000 for the car. So at the end of the day, the client finds himself with a $4,000 debt to the bank. Gap insurance covers for that difference. And the car salesman would sell us gap insurance for $1,200, and he would make another 20%, $250 or $240. What I'm trying to say here is that car salesmen make money by selling the car, selling a warranty, selling gap insurance, and a couple other services, chip protection, unlimited car washes, a bunch of other things. Now, some car salesmen make money only in the gross of selling the vehicle because they don't sell other products. They make that big car sale for $100, and that's all they make. While other car salesmen would make $1,000, $1,200 commission on every single sale because they know how to sell other products or services. Long story, right? I apologize for that. I've noticed that some, maybe most of interpreters sell themselves as interpreters, and that's all they do. They don't sell other products or services that they could add to their business. So today I would like to speak about 3 or 4 other things that we could do, other tools that we could add to our toolbox, other products or services that we can add to our business to make a little extra money. Good? So I'll start basically with interpretation today. And I'm guessing and assuming that most of us here do court interpretation and maybe some private interpretation for law firms, attorneys, depositions, arbitrations. That's good. Court and law firms keep us busy. It's okay, but that's the basic. That's the gross in our business. I would like to share a few ideas about other products, again, or services that we could add to our business. Needless to say that besides court interpretation and private interpretation with law firms, we could work businesses, we could work companies, we could work schools, and a wide variety of organizations that could take advantage of our interpretation skills. Money-wise, and I'm going to talk about my experience here in Utah. Here in Utah, the state of Utah, and most, courts would pay us approximately $40 per hour, and which is not bad. But to law firms and private work here, we can get paid up to $100 an hour, sometimes 120. So private work is actually a gold mine waiting for us to approach them and take advantage of that. So regarding interpretation, let's not focus only on court interpretation or legal interpretation. After we have the set of skills that we have and managing legal terminology, that's a tool. But the actual big tool is our brain. After we are trained into interpreting, we can interpret any type of thing, especially if we train ourselves. Needless to say, if someone contacts me today and asks me to interpret for a computer technology conference, I would not be prepared for that. So we need to train ourselves in a variety of different fields, but our main tool is our brain. After we train our brain into interpretation, and if we add the necessary information to interpret different fields, we can make the big jump of doing interpretation for other types of business besides the legal setting. And I've noticed that there's lots of offers out there, a lot of private businesses who are in need of interpreters. Some companies are very cheap and use their own in-house interpreters, but I found that there's several companies and businesses all over the US and even abroad who are willing to pay decent money for a very decent interpretation set of skills. So again, first idea today, let's open up our minds. Let's look for a different type of business clientele out there to expand our portfolio. Interpretation is not only court interpretation. And I'll give you a few ideas, a few examples of other types of businesses that can take advantage of our services. So that's one thing regarding interpretation. Let's start thinking about new customers, a new clientele. Regarding court interpretation, and I've been doing this, of course, I'm guessing that all across the US, we are now working via Zoom, WebEx, video, Facebook Messenger, other types of services. And the challenge that I found is that because of the system that we are using here in Utah, interpreters can only do consecutive interpretation. Because there's 10 people on the screen, like this conference here today. We have a judge, 3-4 attorneys, prosecutor, we have the court clerk, defendants, families, victims, and the system, at least the system we are using here in Utah, does not allow us to do simultaneous interpretation. That is very frustrating, at least for me as an interpreter. I feel way more comfortable in doing simultaneous interpretation. But I also noticed that judges, especially judges, But attorneys and other people, they become frustrated very easily when we start stopping people and doing consecutive, because we have to do consecutive interpretation. So, and again, just an idea to share. I've been doing this way. I didn't even ask for permission, but the judges I've been doing this system, they loved it, and they are sharing the idea with other people. So what I usually do, especially with juvenile cases where there's a family that needs interpretation, but I've done this also for defendants. Let's say that this Zoom meeting that we're having now is the WebEx meeting that we have with the courts. What I usually do is that I request the phone number of the family or the defendant or whoever needs my interpretation services. I call that person from my cell phone. I dial *67 before dialing the actual number so they don't have access to my cell phone number. And I call the Spanish speaking person, let's say the client, I call that person directly from my cell phone. And then of course, I connect my cell phone to my second earphone, and I place the earphone on my right ear. This way, let's say everybody's doing their English stuff, I silence my microphone, my court microphone, by doing this. I silence my court microphone and I do simultaneous interpretation for the benefit, again, of my client. So I do 100% simultaneous interpretation. I've been doing this for juvenile and district courts. I've been doing this for depositions, arbitrations, mediations. So any type of setting. If the judge is okay with that, I'm okay with that. I love it. And again, my experience so far, it's been nothing but great. Judges, attorneys love it because we do 100% simultaneous. Of course, whenever the Spanish speaking person answers to a question or makes a comment, and I hear that comment on my right ear, then again, I had my court microphone here off, I move it back on, and I do Spanish to English for the benefit of the court. Any questions about this system that I've been using? And feel free to enable your microphones and answer to my question.
Elaine has a question. This is smart, but wish I can hear again how he hides his phone number. It's a *67.
*67, yes. That's *67 and then the 10-digit phone number, and that way the person cannot see your phone number. Because you don't want people calling you in the middle of the night, like saying, oh, my son, he ran away. Aren't you the probation officer? You called me the other day. So we want to protect our privacy. So, and we do that by doing *67. Any other questions regarding this system? Any comments, any things that you guys don't like about this system?
Anybody else can unmute himself? I don't think we have any other questions. You can continue. Good. Yeah, just let me tell them something. Because we are using a different Zoom, we might be disconnected like in, let's say, 30 minutes. Yeah, total 45, which is 30 minutes. I will let you know like 5 minutes ahead, and we will reconnect again and send you the link. Probably the same link though. Thank you.
Good. So we're okay with this system. Again, about a month ago, the state of Utah, the administrative office of the courts, they sent us interpreters a very detailed document instructing us on how to do interpretation during these times. And honestly, I believe that probably a butcher or I don't know, a carpenter put together that list of suggestions for us interpreters to follow. They never, I don't know, I don't think they ever consulted with any interpreter on how to best work during these times through online systems. So, but again, this is the system I've been doing. This is the way I've been doing simultaneous interpretation for court, which is very helpful for me. And for what I've heard, no one has complained so far. For what I've heard, judges are happy about this system. It saves time, and it helps us to, again, do simultaneous. And I don't know, I like it way better than consecutive. That regarding interpretation. And again, let's use our interpretation skills for other types of settings. Translation. And that's another tool that we can use often. And besides, of course, interpretation, I believe that's the tool that we use more often, you know, but I believe that we could expand our business with translation. First, again, think outside the box. Think of new customers that can take advantage of our skills as translators. Every time, every single time that I introduce myself as an interpreter and translator, I attach a copy of my state certification. So people actually know that I am certified, and the people understand that a certified interpreter is someone who is highly skilled, but also someone who is continuously, you know, practicing and working. It's not someone that would be translating a document once a month. So I always attach my CV and a copy of my certificate to prove to them that I am certified by the state of Utah, which is very helpful. Now, regarding yeah, go ahead.
But there's a difference between translating and interpreting, and the interpreter certification does not extend to translation certification.
I understand that, and of course, I am not ATA approved. So whoever has an ATA certificate has, you know, is on a higher level than me, and I really understand that. But since that's what I have, people kind of understand and assume, rightfully so, that an interpreter is someone, of course, who's very trained in interpretation, but also in translating documents. So regarding translation, let's think outside the box again. Sometimes we are so focused on doing translation for the courts that we forget that there's a wide variety of, you know, clients out there. And in the last few months, I've got a bunch of new business with companies like, you know, big banks. I've been doing a lot of translation for Visa and MasterCard and American Express, because every single document that they issue, they must, by law, translate in at least 5 languages. And of course, Spanish is one of them. And I'm sorry if I'm focusing too much on the Spanish market, but maybe this applies also to other languages. I don't know, Arabic, I assume that it's also a big one. But usually, big organizations, they must translate documents into Spanish, French, Italian, Chinese, and Korean. Then they can add other languages, but those 5 are the top 5. So let's look for new, let's expand to new markets. Let's search for new clients out there. And honestly, there's millions of prospective clients out there. Translation is a big thing. Regarding rates, you know, of course, personally, I do anything between 10 cents and 20. If it's a very simple document, 10 cents per word. You know, if it's more than simple, I would do 12, 13, 14. If it's high tech, 18, 20 cents. And of course, we could not compete with people in South America or other countries and other places. They are translating documents for 3, 4 cents a word. But you know what? You get what you pay for. I've had clients who had big contracts with companies in Mexico or in Colombia. And after they got their documents translated there, they had me review those documents, and they ended up spending twice because we had to redo the whole thing. So do not be afraid of charging a decent fee, which would be anything between 10 and 20 cents per word. Because if we are offering a good service, if we are delivering a good product, we deserve that money. I honestly don't even think about the South American or the Central American translators pools because quality there is not the best. Finally, regarding translation, the use of technology. Of course, when I started translating documents 15 years ago, it would take me a full hour to translate one page. I charge $40 per page, $40 an hour work. That's okay, $40 an hour. Then I started, getting better at that, and I was doing 2 pages per hour, $80 an hour, better. The best I ever did was 3 pages an hour, $120, not bad at all. A couple of years ago, a client came out of the blue and they asked me to translate 2,000 pages. And I was gonna go crazy about translating 2,000 pages. And I talked to a good friend of mine who is a professional translator, and he recommended me using a program which is called Dragon, D-R-A-G-O-N, Dragon. Right now, it's taking me an average of 6 minutes per page. Dragon is voice to text, but nothing is as natural as our own voice. So what we're doing basically is we are interpreting. We are reading a document in English, for example, and we are interpreting into Spanish, but it comes out very natural. Accuracy-wise, 98%. And I'm guessing that it's also available in languages not as regular or usual as Spanish. Of course, I saw it in Spanish, Chinese, French, Italian, but I'm guessing that you can find that program also in other languages. So right now, again, it's taking me an average of 6 minutes per page. I could verbally translate up to 10 pages an hour. Of course, we need to edit and some review, but right now, considering all that, the voice-to-text translation, editing, formatting, I am doing 7 or 8 pages per hour. Times 40, that's an average of $300 an hour. So that's a good thing that I would like to share with you. Zina, would we be able to do some share screening today?
Yes, sure. You can always share screen.
Let me see if I can use this here. Let's see how it works.
So, just a quick question for our fellows. I know there are some translators with us too. Do you guys use Dragon?
I use Dragon okay. I use Dragon sometimes, but for me, because it doesn't do Arabic, I do something tricky, which is Google Translate. You can type in Google Translate, like by using your voice in Arabic. Try it.
Yeah,
it's something similar.
I do something else. I have an iPhone and I email myself. I open an email and I start sighted translating. And then I will send myself this email, copy it on Word and start correcting it. And start really working on editing the sighted translation that I am doing. Because no matter what, typing in Arabic is I'm always slower in typing in Arabic, especially that our language, typing it is so hard. So it is better for me to correct it from my email. But I had another question for Pablo. Pablo, how you spoke briefly about the rates, and how much do you think a medical document would cost from Arabic? No, actually, it is from English into Arabic to translate per word.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna guess about Arabic. I know my business in Spanish. I don't know, same thing. If it's a medical document,
it's start 12 cents up to 20.
I would do
without machine translation.
I would go from 10 to 20. Okay, if it's a prescription, the translation of a prescription document which explains how to take a medicine, I would do 10, 12. But if it's a document that explains, the benefits of a given medicine on cancer patients. Oops, that's a little too high for me. If I ever did do it, I would charge 18 or 20. So
10
it
is
depends on the
very
document.
low for Arabic. It's not like Spanish. And our meeting will end in 10 minutes. So I'm just letting you know if you wanna restart now, or do you wanna?
Let's do 10 more minutes, so then we'll have another 40
Okay.
if you want to.
Okay.
Zina, I just tried to share my screen and it said that host disabled participant screen sharing.
One part. Oh, okay. Okay. Now you can do it. Try.
Oh. Screen. Okay, you're seeing my screen now,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what you guys are seeing here is the screen of this dragon, and I'll just play with it, but I know, let me real quick here. Okay, I have a legal document here to the left, and I'll do the translation. I don't know how to move this to the side here. Okay, I'll put this down. Just to play the game here. I'll read this paragraph here. Not all of it, of course. And I will make some mistakes here. And I'll show you why. El acusado Frank Larreal objeta a los, abre comillas, definiciones e instrucciones, cierra comillas, presentadas en la primera presentación de interrogatorios y petición de producción de documentos del demandante, abre paréntesis, comillas, petición de documentos, cierra comillas, cierra paréntesis, punto, nueva línea, nueva línea. Okay. Since my program is in Spanish, whenever I use a word in English, it misreads it, like Frank Larreal, but the program allows us to do parentheses, columns, a period, new line, new line. I will now fake a translation and I will make some mistakes and you guys will see what it happens. Estamos reunidos en una conferencia de intérpretes y traductores de toda Europa. Borrar Europa. Borrar toda. Todos los Estados Unidos. Punto. When I just read, literally, I said, we are here meeting at a conference of interpreters and translators from all over Europe. I mistakenly said Europe, so then I said, delete Europe. It deleted it, then I added United States. Okay, basically this program and the previous translator interpreter who shared her ideas, a very fast typing person can type, I don't know, 100 words per minute, 120, but just when typing. If we are reading, translating, and typing, we can do, I don't know, maybe 70, 80 words per minute. But when we do voice to text, we speak close to 200 words per minute. So this is why this system is very good at allowing us to saving time and again, making some good money by doing translation document. I'll just close these documents here and I'll jump to my next topic, which is transcription. Give me just one sec. Any questions regarding these programs?
How much and what program do you use? Because
Again,
there are several, right? They have professional, legal, for mobile, and others.
well, I use the premium program, which allows me to take advantage of different areas of translation. And again, these Dragon packages, they will range from $100 to $1,000. I paid I purchased a package. I paid, I think, $170 for the Spanish version. And again, 4 pages translation, it pays for the program itself. You don't need to pay for any extra renewal or updates or anything. Now let me see how I go back to the big screen here. I'm only seeing 6 or 7 people. I'm stopping sharing my, I want to stop sharing my.
Pablo, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So you said that you purchased the Spanish program. Does Dragon work, like, would you have to buy the English to do it vice versa, or
Yes,
does it
yes,
work for both?
Yeah, no. If you buy the Spanish one, it only allows you to do English to Spanish. And when you say something in English, it would misread it. For example, when I'm translating a document and I read Utah, it spells it Y-U-T-A. So you would have, if you want to do Spanish to English, you would have to buy a different package, but
Okay.
the Spanish to English costs $80. So I have both programs, English to Spanish,
Okay.
Spanish to English. You may need to install it on a different computer because they would have some conflict with each other.
Okay.
So stop sharing. Zena, we're almost out of time, right?
Yes, I was trying to let Amin send us the link right now. So he's opening a new Zoom session. We'll end this one. And
okay, we're ending this one and we're connected to the new one.
Yes.
Good. Everybody, back in a minute.
Okay, this is what he has. Copy it, please. And we're gonna end this one and move there. Everybody has it on the chat?
Wait just a second.
It doesn't show on mine.
On everybody's chat, right?
Yes.
You see it?
I am not seeing it.
Okay,
no.
I'm gonna send it again.
I see the list of.
Keep it on.
I see the list of participants, but I don't see.
Go to the chat. The chat is. I'm gonna stop.